So, astrophotography or video making. This is my, we can say first video. It's I'm using a Newtonian telescope, not a refractor or something even more complicated. It is a small telescope on an AQ3 mount, AQ2 mount, it's not 3, it's 2. It has 2 axes and Polaris, so it can be driven by a motor, and I don't have that, or by a hand, and I have that, thank God. And this is my hand shaking the telescope. So I'm just checking what can you do with 114 millimeters of aperture with 500 millimeter focal length. That would be an f4.5 or f4, something along those lines. Newtonian, pretty fast, but as you can imagine, the magnification power of it ain't that good, and it is not a Skywatcher or branded one either. It's I don't know the exact, as you can see I'm freezing, the exact maker doesn't say. It's Chinese probably, or German, I don't know. What are the features? So f4 Newtonian, and the eyepiece in it is 6mm one, Plossel with the long eye relief. Let me just check for the focus. So that's way off. Something like that. Okay, I can see on the image that my collimation is bad, because this camera adapter, DSLR camera adapter, is homemade. I made it for this scope. I couldn't find any for Sony camera, Sony Minolta A mount, couldn't find any, so I made it, and it kind of bends under the weight of camera, and I lose my collimation, so that's why focus is probably not the same everywhere, but it is a zoom adapter, if you can say that, because I can change the length of the eyepiece, the distance from the eyepiece to the camera sensor, so that's a good thing. I just need to sturdy it up a bit, and it's basically a simple, cheap AQ2 mount. It can be with a motor or without one. I don't have a motor. All this gear is very expensive, and what can you do? It is what it is. So I'm checking the image after the collimation of it. I did it with my laser collimator, but I made that myself as well, so it is not so precise, but I made a method that can do it quite good. In fact, it is perfect collimation. I checked it on the stars, it is perfect, but the adapter isn't perfect, so it kinda moves away from the center, and you lose focus and you lose contrast, detail, you lose everything. Let us check with this line of the moon, outline of the moon, borderline. I think it should be visible if it is if it has some coma or spherical aberration, and I think that starts about now on the top and not on the bottom. So basically camera should be pointing down a bit, but it doesn't matter. I'm more worried about my focus. I'm constantly thinking I can get better focus. So if you are into astronomy and getting yourself a telescope, this is a video for you, to show you what is possible with even the cheap 4.5 inch aperture or 4 inch aperture Newtonian. You can get the same thing on a Dobsonian, but you won't get this AQ3 mount, which is a pain in the ass but also helps. Whatever you like. I guess you can go for catadioptric, if you can say it like that, as well. Matter of personal preference. I don't know, maybe it's good. They say it has a limited field of view, catadioptric, because of its focal length, but hey, I'm good with this, you know. As you can see, there are some spots on the screen. That is dirt on my camera sensor, DSLR, but that is purchased used as well, because cameras are expensive and this is my hobby. I cleaned it myself, didn't send it to a cleaner. I can even, sorry for the shaking, I'm adjusting the image. I can even do a astro modification with it or remove infrared filter, but I'm not gonna do that on this camera because I need it for the pictures, personal pictures. So we are rolling like this, but it ain't no problem. I don't even use it to take long exposures of deep sky objects, because deep space objects, or however you say it, under galaxies, messier objects, faint nebulae and things like that, because I don't have a motorized or go-to mount. Maybe I will get it, maybe I won't. So I'm limited in the exposure, but I quite like this moon fishing thing and cleaning my scope, making it better, one bit at a time, and just looking how good it is, sharing it with you guys if you care. If you have a mid LX200, you are fine, you don't need no advice from me. But if you are starting your astronomy journey, maybe I can give you some advice. For example, this is perfectly good mount and telescope for moon observing that you can see yourself. It is without the Barlow lens right now, so it can magnify even more. But this magnification will give you rings around the Saturn, around 100. This is 500 focal length, and 6mm piece, so that's just below 100x, and with the aperture of 140 millimeters you can get in theory 200x, but in practice, because a lot of things going past 100x is problematic. First, stars start to move real fast, things fly by, you can't even adjust for it, everything shakes, you need a better mount, and everything goes like that. You go for magnification, you need a better scope, better everything, better aperture, better quality. So this is with 140mm. I don't know what kind of mirror, a spherical or parabolic primary mirror. It is Newtonian f4 500mm f4.5 with 6mm eyepiece Plossel, I think, long eye relief. With the DSLR, of course, it is a bit smaller field of view than when viewing, but viewing with the eyepiece. But there we go, that is it. This is the video. We'll check it out. Maybe I missed the focus. Focus is the biggest problem. So hey, if you like, you like. If you don't, you don't. I don't ask of you to subscribe or do anything. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not selling any gear, anything. You don't have to watch. It is just a video, so stay tuned, as they say, and clear skies.